How you doing, everybody? I'm Nina Taylor with this week's Gospel News. Orlando Draper, do you remember him from the 1990s? He was an American Grammy Award-winning gospel music artist. He was the founder of the Associates Choir and considered to be one of the top gospel artists of the 1990s. Draper was nominated for many Grammy Awards, Stellar Awards, and Dove Awards multiple times. He grew up in Alabama and in Washington, D.C., listening to great gospel music as a child. He began to write and sing music while he was frequently at the clubs. And he finished his musical studies in high school. He moved on to Memphis State University, where he directed the school's gospel choir. Now, after school, he worked part time for FedEx. Now, Draper was known for his choir directing style. Some of the songs that were well known by Orlando Draper are My Soul Doth Magnify the Lord, I See the Miracle, Lift the Savior Up and Stand Up, Got a Feeling, and He Touched Me. Now, the choir went on performing across the United States, making television appearances and performing for presidents such as Jimmy Carter, President H.W. Bush, and of course, President Bill Clinton. Now, the choir also sang backup for Billy Joel during the 1994 Grammy Awards. They performed with many celebrities like Jennifer Holliday, B.B. King, and some gospel artists like Albertino Walker, Shirley Caesar. Just the list just goes on and on. Now, Orlando Draper also, he did many gospel workshops around the world and in nations like Europe, in countries like the Bahamas. He recorded a live workshop that took place in 1994 in Memphis, Tennessee. That features artists like Kirk Franklin and Yolanda Adams. Now, in that same year, in 1994, Draper recorded the live Celebration of Praise, his second Grammy-nominated album, which was another great one. In 1996, Orlando Draper recorded for Warner Music Group, and he released his third album, which was also Grammy nominated. It was called Got a Feeling. It debuted on the Billboard at number 2. The album also was recorded to VHS. So, if you have a VHS, maybe you can still get that one. All right. Hopefully, they converted it over to CD or something. Or better yet, it's on YouTube. The song I Got a Feeling was featured on Wow Gospel 1998. That was the first gospel album in the Wow series. You remember that? It did 98, 99. I had the first one, had the second one. I had all of them all the way up to 2006. Do they still do those? We'll have to check that out. Also, the song was also featured on Azusa 1996. This was a popular convention that was put on each year by Carlton Pearson. Now, in 1998, Orlando Draper released his last album before his passing called Reflections. Now, the album won a Grammy Award for Best Gospel Choir and get Best Gospel Album. This was in 1999. Orlando Draper attended Memphis State University. That is where he performed his choir, where he formed them, I should say, the choir, the Associates, that later on performed for Shirley Caesar. They were on the song Hold My Mule. You remember that? Also with the Winans, the Nicholas family, Timothy Wright, Myrna Summers, and like I said earlier, the list just goes on and on. Now, Orlando Draper, he recorded for Word Epic Records prior to his death, which, by the way, was from kidney failure on July 21st, 1998, after which the group decided to press on and record under the name Orlando Draper's Associates. All right, let's go to the top 10 gospel songs, which there is a tremendous list of great music. 2022 was a stellar year for gospel music, and it looks like 2023 is starting out the same way. Number 10 this week from the most awarded gospel artist in the world. Her name is CeCe Winans. She's got Goodness of God coming in at number 10. Number 9 from Kingdom, Naomi Rain, Chandler Moore, Kirk Franklin, Need I Say More? Maverick City Music has got our number 9 song, which is still in the top 10 after all this time. Dietrich Haddon coming in at number 8 with Here Comes the Joy. Number 7, You've Been Good to Me. Zacardi Cortez from Texas with this great song. It is a former number 1 song. Number 6, Lord, I Hear You. Lucinda Moore with our number 6 song this week. She is making her way up the countdown, probably going to make it to the top 3 any minute. Number 5, from Ty Tribbett, who is no stranger to top 10, top 5, and number 1 songs. His song is called New. Number 4, Jordan Armstrong, which everything he seems to touch seems to make its way all the way up to the top of the charts. This one features Erica Campbell and is called Call. Number 3, just spoke to this brother just a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to hit him up. I'm going to send him a text when this one goes to number 1. His latest song, Call on the Name by Marcus Jordan at number 3 this week, heading towards the top spot. Number 2, this one's actually down from number 1. J.J. Harrison with No Youthful Praise, just him on his own. The song is called Thankful. He did a wonderful job with this one. It's at number 2, another former number 1 song. He's kind of dangling around that number 1 spot. We'll see if he makes it back up to it any day. Number 1, once again, Jonathan McReynolds had dropped down to number 2. Now he's back in the number 1 position once again with his song Your World, which I love it. I think it's well written. He did a wonderful, wonderful job with it. All right, getting back to your gospel news, let's talk about a great artist from the city of Detroit. Now, this young man has been compared to Stevie Wonder. He's been compared to Donny Hathaway with his tone and the way that he presents a song. He is a fantastic artist. He has sort of a jazz feel, an R&B feel, just an all-around talent, and rightfully so. He comes from a talented family. He is contemporary gospel artist, songwriter, and producer Tim Bowman Jr. He was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, to his musical family. His father, Tim Bowman Sr., guitarist, jazz artist, producer. He's a fantastic artist, a Billboard chart-topping jazz gospel musician, and of course, he is the auntie of, no, Vicki Winans is his auntie, which of course her maiden name is Vicki Bowman. So he comes from great roots. Now he grew up singing in the church choirs, and as a teenager, he was featured on his Aunt Vicki's single, How I Got Over, which they did a fantastic job with that one. It reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot Gospel Songs charts. Now, after graduating from Wayne State University in Detroit, he released his debut album. That's right, his dad probably said, finish college first, then we'll see about this music thing. 2012, the album was called Beautiful on Trippin' in Rhythm Records, produced by his father and reflecting influences of pop, soul, R&B, and of course, alternative rock. The album was very well received, hitting the top 10 of the gospel albums charts. Also, He Will from the album featured Vicki Winans and appeared on the gospel songs chart as well. Now, in 2014, he signed with Lifestyle Music Group, and the celebratory single I'm Good, which is a big song for him, it was released in the spring of 2015. I remember first day I played, I thought, my goodness, this is awesome. He's on his way. The following year, he saw the release of the acclaimed album. This was his big one to date. It's called Listen. Brought home a Grammy Award for Best Gospel Album. Well, that's it for now for our gospel news. Let's get back to Bishop with more great gospel music on this great station. Hey, Bishop.